Yes, now, there's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV, your people. Right. Wow, I'm going to have a lot to say about this one. This is an interesting record. This one goes out to Mo, who recommended I listen to this via the Patreon. It's brilliant as far as me finally getting around to listening to some music that isn't on parallel with the punk rock and the metal music we tend to listen to on this channel. It's been a nice change of scenery, so to speak. This was Igor by Tyler the Creator. I won't just go over what I said on the first song when I sort of broke down my experience with this artist. But I came across this artist when Yonkers got put out years back. Formed a little bit of an understanding of Odd Future and a few characters that came from that group, but didn't necessarily follow the group. I'm not a hip-hop head per se. I do like rap, but as far as hip-hop is concerned and, you know, that culture, I had a little run when I was a teenager enjoying it, but I like guitars, man. I like electric guitars for the most part, so I ended up sort of dropping out of all of that. That being said, this isn't necessarily a hip-hop record. It's an experimental record. You've got a whole heap of different ideas. It's very soulful in a sense, but not in your traditional sense. It's conceptual, which my first critique is going to be, I hate concept records. I cannot stand concept records. I'm a big fan of easy listening. I don't want it to be a chore to listen to. I don't want to be given this I don't want to be working note out. I don't want to be following note. That's me personally. I don't want to interpret anything. You know what I mean? I don't want that to be the case. Real life is complicated enough as it is. I like my music to allow me to escape or to easily sort of connect me straight away with the message and the meaning of the music. I like it to be at face value. And that's not to put this record down in particular. Like, bro, when I was younger, Dream Theater used to be one of my favourite bands. They're a progressive rock band, and this is like laden in prog rock. I can't stand concept records, man. Pink Floyd. I'm not disrespecting Pink Floyd, but I cannot do concept records. So this falls within that category. And the problem is, you have to look at it as a whole when it becomes a concept record, instead of just sort of picking your favourite bits. You can't look at a song simply as a song. On Igor, there's not 13 chances to have a song that correlates with you, because it's just one part of a big picture. And with it being one part of a big picture, if you don't necessarily agree with so much else of the big picture, then it indirectly devalues that song, I find. And that's where the conflicting feelings with this album is, for me. There are some songs that I like more than others, to a huge degree. Now, on the flip side, let me tell you, I like art. And my personal interpretation of art is... There's a few different opinions I have. One of them being, if it touches you or engages you, then that's good artistic merit. And me having a lot to say about this record, me having conflicted opinions about this record, me getting taken through some degree of turmoil whilst listening to it, conflicted as to whether I like it or not. That is good, artistically speaking. And you don't necessarily get that too much, at least with the music I listen to. Like I say, I listen to easy listening music. I like hardcore punk, man. I like 2-minute blasts of some guy shouting about how frustrated he is. That's what gets me. That's what gets me. I understand how good the production is on this record. I understand how many different ideas have gone into the creation of this record. And I don't like that. I don't like it. I hate that he didn't dumb it down. I hate that there wasn't just strict verse, chorus. I like simplicity. I don't want to hear the overt, arguably egocentric, creative element of things. I preferred Kanye West when he was writing pop songs, not necessarily as much when he started to go off the deep end with the artistic sort of stuff. That's just who I am and what I appreciate. And arguably what the mainstream populace have been indoctrinated to get along with. It's what I've been listening to since ever. When my mum's putting 80s pop music on, it's what I've had drilled into me. So when we go off of that, it's hard to cooperate. I think this record aligns itself with a younger audience. An alternate audience. Not the hipster of old when I was younger, but the different and the hipster of the teenagers now. That's not to say that is the be all and end all of the fan base, because I've got a mate who's a year, 2 years older than me. I'm very close with. He works in a studio, and he tried to put me onto this record. He said, brilliant record. He really likes it, and he still fulfills the criteria I would expect of a person who would be into this. Arcade Fire. Bjork, is that what you call her? And them sort of artists. In the Aeroplane Over the Sea, well, that's a record, but you know, I'm coming from Neutral Milk Hotel. It's the sort of indie hipster vibe, but I think there's a bit of a cult sort of basis when it comes to it that might follow music more so from a socially engineered standpoint as opposed to like what they actually literally enjoy. If I was going to rate this record, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because I liked the sounds, but there's nothing I'm going to return back to. There's nothing that pleased me. There's nothing I actually enjoyed on the record. But I'll give it that rating because I understand and appreciate the craft that's been put into it. And the beautiful thing about it is that it is subjective, you know? It opens so many routes to discussion, and I don't know if I'm deeping it, people, but I know that a lot of you out there I know people are passionate about this. So I'm just gonna sort of riff on for it a minute. If you look at my final reviews of these albums I listen to, I don't necessarily go into as much depth or thought of this, and that is a credit to this work of art, because it gives you food for thought and you can sort of riff on it a bit. I'll have given higher ratings to records that is just song after song after song of just heavy riffs, and it doesn't really deviate from that whatsoever. But I'll only have like 3 minutes to talk about it, because what else can you talk about? Whereas this, you can talk about it for quite some time, which is good. People in the comments say, oh, he's so honest on this and blah 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 blah. But if he's depicting a character that isn't him, Igor, is that the person who he is? He puts a wig on, he puts a mask on per se. Is it really honest? I say that I got a pseudonym. Makes it easier for me. Hulk Hogan. He said a lot of dumb shit, but he said, no, that was Hulk Hogan speaking, it wasn't me. Do you know what I mean? So I think you can use the artist identity to be honest and to be yourself, but in a way separate yourself so your ego isn't hurt by any sort of response to the honesty you're putting out there. So maybe it is incredibly honest, and maybe it is, you know, I understand that the art is honest. You can't fault the production of this. But as far as like the story and the lyrical content and so forth, I didn't really follow it too much, to be honest. And on a final note, I thought this guy was coming with like the lowest voice of all time. That's what I associated this guy with. Like edgy bars of just low frequency vocal, but he's definitely got a different approach to the vocal performance in this day, or at least on this record. And on that note, I'm going to sign out, people. If you do want me to check out more Tyler the Creator or more associates, please let me know. Please let me know and I'll go into that. I'm signing out, people. Peace.